What if the reason you're struggling to grow, to get clients, or step into your purpose isn't because you're doing something wrong, but because there's a hidden conflict inside you that your dreams are already trying to fix? In this episode, I break down real dreams that reveal why you regret working with certain people, why lowering your price actually hurts you, and why you're putting pressure on yourself instead of trusting your path. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. We are so excited that you're here with us.
All right, Sandy. Let's start off with this. Our 3-day Dream Interpretation Summit is April 24th to 26th. Dates have changed, and we'll talk more about that at the event with some special dreams connected to why they change. But other than that, Sandy, want to dive straight into it?
Let's go. It looks like we got some interesting dreams, and I think people will have some fun listening to them. Alrighty, the first dream is called Shoes on a Screen, and this is from Jane. I was watching a screen of people walking past with shoes. If you have a really nice pair of shoes, you can rent them out. People will hire your shoes for a certain amount of time, 1.5 or 2 hours, and then return them. Then you can see your shoes walking on the screen. You need to advertise your shoes, and then people can wear them. If your shoes are not selling, you can change the price. I got a notification from the system saying that my shoes were not selling and that they wanted to reduce the price. People can also review your shoes. A guy took my pink Prada heels, wore them, and then complained that the shoes stretched. I could see his man feet walking past in my shoes. I was annoyed as they were really nice shoes. All right, Michael, this is all about shoes. What do you have to say about shoes?
So the theme here, across some of the dreams anyway, is working with other people, helping other people. And what this person does is she, for many years, for decades in fact, has worked in the spiritual field, helping people through various different courses. She runs yoga courses, also healing courses, and many other things. And so this is really about that. Renting the shoes out, or people walking in her shoes, is her helping people with the mechanisms that she has learned and developed that she knows help people. And I love the symbolism of it because it's so obvious once you know that that's what it is. It's literally her clients are walking in her shoes and she's letting it, like she's hiring them out for an hour or 2 hours kind of thing. But then she doesn't like that she sees this guy in these lovely heels, pink ones, that it's like he's going to wreck him, obviously. So again, the dream is about working with people, but this part is you regret working with some people, and that needs to be addressed. So you can't say, hey, I'm going to work with people, but I really don't like working with people at the same time. There's a conflict there. So her thing is like, how do I get more clients? And that's true for so many people in the spiritual field. It's like I've developed this, and I get to a point after many years where I quit my, say, 9-to-5 job. And instead of working 9 to 5 and doing 40 hours a week, I can do 80 hours a week helping people and barely scraping by. And so people are like, how do I get more clients? How do I improve my standing? And that's where she's at, even after working for decades. And the dream is saying, look, if you want to solve that problem, you have to solve the idea that there are clients that you have that you don't like working with. You can't have that idea in your head, like, please give me clients. And at the same time, in the back of your mind, please don't give me clients. Now, I know it's like, well, I don't want a certain type of client, but have you really focused on it and know exactly what type of client you don't want? Or is it just sometimes you get a client, which is exactly what it is in her case, where she's like, oh, this person's very difficult to deal with, or whatever it happens to be. So you got to solve that. You got to solve your filtering mechanism so that you end up with the clients that you really want to work with, and that every morning you get up, you're like, I'm absolutely delighted that this is what I get to do today. It doesn't feel like work. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's what she's got to solve. And then the other issue, we see the price. Oh, I've got to reduce my price. And that shows up in the dream. Like, my shoes weren't selling, so I've got to reduce the price. And this, again, is another trap that people fell into it myself, where you think, oh, if I lower the price, I will attract clients and eventually I'll be able to increase the price. It doesn't work like that. Business does not work like that, especially high touch services, where you're working one to one with a person. Working in a group scenario where it's not one to one, then the price is not as important. But if it's like the limitation is the number of hours you have in the day because it's a lot of one to one work, then you can't reduce the price because you can't increase the number of hours you have in the day. And you know what you need to earn in order to be able to sustain the standard of living that you should have. And so this reducing the price is a problem that she has in the back of her mind. She thinks, okay, if I reduce the price, I'll get more people. You have to educate yourself, learn how that is not true at all, because reduced price just makes people think, oh, this couldn't be that good. It depends, of course, what the price is and what you're reducing it to and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's a business thing. Part of her issue she's got to overcome. She's got to fix that value, sense of self-worth so that she doesn't have that issue. And then she's got to kill whatever it is that makes her not like working with clients. Just don't work with those clients, but don't have this in your head. I like 80% of the clients I work with. You want to get it to 100%. It's always interesting. And you can do that because if you get a difficult client, you can say to yourself, okay, I'm going to get two things. It's not just that I work with a client and I love working with a client, but I'm going to learn something else about myself or something else about how people with a particular mindset think. What makes me not able to get through to them or whatever it happens to be that makes you not like a particular type of client. And just add a second thing to what you're doing so that you then have that like undertow of, okay, well, at least I'm learning this. And it makes it much easier to stick with that type of person. All right, Sandy, do you have any questions or have I flogged it to death?
So you have 1.5 and 2. So what's going on with that? Because normally they're whole numbers, aren't they? And 2, maybe channeling, I don't know, but 1.5? That's how long you can rent the shoes out for.
If fractions aren't typically good, so the whole numbers 1 and 2 are fine, but a half is like, okay, I diminish myself in some way in the time that I rent these out to. So I would look at the time allotments that she makes for working with clients, and I would imagine that it's too long, that she is saying, okay, I'm going to charge this price and I will compensate for that price by giving this amount of time. And you don't want to do that. You want to know exactly what it is. So I remember years and years ago, before we had any training courses, I worked out that I could work with 15 clients in a week and I would able to be at my peak for 15 clients. And so I knew what I needed to earn to be able to survive. And I was able to work out then, this is the price I need to charge if I get 15 clients. Of course, you're not going to in the beginning. You're not going to fill your roster. So you have to be careful of that. But you then say, okay, I need to do it for this price. And if I can't do it for this price, it's not viable. And fix whatever sense of self-worth you have so that you are able to say, this is the price it needs to be. Because you will then attract people who are very happy to pay that price because it's the service they want. And a lot of the time it's you they also want. They're not looking for just the healing. It's I want the healing and I want it from you. I want it from you, Jane. There's nobody else I want it from. So they're delighted to work with you.
That's beautiful. Okay, one more. Pink Prada heels.
Yeah, so issues with mom because of the pink. Like when we see colors alone, you can tell who you've got issues with. Pink is associated with the heart chakra. So it means the dreamer didn't have an unconditional bond with mom and needs to fix that issue, because she's not happy. She's sharing, which is heart chakra thing, sharing the shoes, but then I'm not happy that I'm sharing. And sharing is all connected to the heart chakra, issues with mom, if I don't like the sharing. So if I really want to fix this issue, that's where I've got to go back to. But I do like that they're heels because heels symbolize a spiritual thing. They're shoes that are raised up, let's say. And so high heels are good to see in a dream because it's about your spiritual path that's going forward. But here in this case, I don't like sharing this spiritual path with some particular people.
Wow, that's beautiful. And what about Prada, which is a name brand label, high end?
Well, I like that. So it's all about branding for her. She's at that stage where branding is really it. I'm not selling yoga. I'm selling my yoga. I'm selling my class that includes whatever it is I want to include in it. I'm selling my healing program. I know she does healing energy work. that's very unique to her, and various other things that she does. So she needs to brand herself just like Prada would. Like, think about Prada. You buy a handbag or heels from Prada, they're going to be extremely high priced, but people will buy it because of the branding. And so that's what she's got to work on for herself. Brand yourself and say, well, like, if you want to work with me, this is the price. And then attract the clients that are happy to pay that price. And the irony of it really is, the more people pay to work with you, the more vested they are in doing whatever work it is that you tell them that they need to do. It just is how it is. Like, if you discount your courses or discount something or even give it away for free, the person who gets it for free will view it for exactly the price they paid. There is no value to this. They will skip classes, they will do all sorts of things. And you're like, I don't understand why this person is doing this. So the price has to reflect the effort that you're putting in, the effort that your client needs to put in also, and lots of other things, all to do with branding. And once you have that and do that right, everything's going to flow well.
Wow, that was beautiful. A lot of detail in Michael in such a short dream. I'm ready to move on to the next short dream. This one's titled The Microphone and Antennas, and it's from Tracy. I was walking around with a remote microphone. It felt like it was around my waist, and the battery pack was in my back pocket, and you could see three antennas hanging out of my back pocket. I think I had jeans on, with little white lights attached to the end of each one of them. They were just dangling off me. There you go, Michael. That's a short little dream for you. Let's see what you can get out of it.
Yeah, microphones are always interesting. It's like the spirit world has given you a microphone. So I've been given a mic. Everybody shush now while Tracy has the mic. That's basically what the spirit world is saying. So what she has to say is important enough for the spirit world to give her a platform to speak on. And it's really interesting because many of Tracy's dreams are about that. And they say to her, like, you're going to be as big as Esther Hicks. I know you know Esther Hicks, but like, think about that. Like, that's a heck of a claim for her guides to say, because she's known the world over, written many, many books and so on. The genes say she has a right to do this. Like, it's part of her, let's say, genetics, but spiritual genetics. So she has the training, she has everything else that goes into it. When I channeled on it, they said that she put herself through a purity test. So she's going to teach this methodology of how to achieve your own personal growth using a formula where you're not involving anybody else. So it's like, this is what you do, or this is a system that you can employ for yourself, where you're not going to somebody else and saying, please tell me what to do. And this is kind of like the backbone of what her system is about. But she put herself through a test on the other side. Her and a few others from her group asked to be put to this test. And the spirit world training included extreme pressure on her to see if she could hold her message true. And she did. Like, so really, really interesting that they would do that, like really pin her down, like a purity test. Like, you're saying this works in every situation. Let's put you through some very difficult situations. You don't know what they are, but we're going to put you through them. And we're going to see if you can stick to the message that you're saying is going to work for everybody in their difficult situations. And it was really good because she then passed it. And it's kind of funny because she already had the slot here. It was just, hey, I want to do this. I want to prove this, which is really cool. When you see somebody like they're eating their own cereal, I manufacture this cereal and I'm going to eat it myself, or my own dog food, or whatever you call it. That's very good to see that. And so here's something I normally cut out of my analysis too, but I'm going to share it here. She is part of a group on the other side, a group of spirits who have this philosophy of do the work yourself, don't get help from anybody else. And their reasoning is quite good. The philosophy is, if you get a group together, then the chances are that the person who's leading that group is going to become a target for nefarious spirits and beings to take them over and then lead that whole group astray. And that does happen. So it's people that come here and create large followings, they have to be very wary of that. And they have to work against things that are going to make that happen to them. But anyway, her group on the other side helps other spirits who are non-physical, but also on the earth plane. and they learn from her group too. But she's the only one that has come here incarnated. And so other spirits are going to also learn from her. It's not just the incarnated spirits. She's not just talking to people. She's going to help other spirits too who are involved in the whole system here. They don't have all the principles and everything about what she's teaching, but they're also going to learn. It is interesting if you channel and have any type of a platform, if it's an intended platform, like you came here with that mission, when you look at it, you will often see it tiered. So you'll see the physical, let's say, platform, and it's always shown in circles. And there's people going to learn from whoever the leader is, let's say, the spiritual leader in that case. And then they show tiers with more spirits than there are physical people that are learning from the learning that is going on in the physical plane. And that just keeps going up the chain to bigger and bigger circles. So it is always quite interesting. And so they're telling her that that happens or is happening for her in this case too. The other thing was that even though this is her first time doing it on the earth plane, it's not her first time to do it. She has done it on other worlds that don't have a veil or a birth process. Like we go through a birth process, we get a veil applied, and we don't have any memory of the spirit world at all. And she's done this in other places where that doesn't apply, where you have a connection to that world, but you still know you're a spirit. You still know lots of things about yourself. Earth is very different. But her group are hoping that once she starts, her connection to herself will sustain her here. So like she's come through the veil, she's gone through the birth process and lost the connection to her own knowledge. So she's going through a phase of regaining that, which is really intriguing. No spiritual leader ever comes here and skips this process. So you still all get the veil. It might be thinner for some, but you still get it, and you have to work against it and go, okay, who am I really? And figure this out and make your connections and then understand yourself. And then you start your mission. All right. I have a lot more points, even though it's a small dream. Do you want to ask me questions, or will I keep going with my points?
No, I like to ask questions. So we got the number 3. We have 3 antennas hanging out of her back pocket. So let's talk about 3 antennas and back.
When you see things in the spirit world, 3 is important. Like we have even in the Christianity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. So there's 3 is a very important thing. And it's to do with masculine and feminine. And then when they come together, you create this other spiritual component. And so the 3 antennas are about that masculine, feminine, and that extra energized component that comes together when the masculine and feminine are in balance. Really interesting. And then she even says, like, there's white light connected to the end of all of them. So white light is the best color that you can see in the spirit world, because it's like, this is the most pure. Any more questions?
You didn't say about her back. Why the back pocket, not the front?
So it's like, this is something she's done in the past. She has done it in other worlds. So it's kind of like, yeah, instead of saying it's in my hand, I have this ability, it's like in your back pocket. And she's also got a battery back there. That's a symbol for the heart. So she's set up for this. Like she's got the mic, a wireless mic, no less. So it's even better. So it's definitely a spiritual communication mechanism that she's got that is just going to work for her and sustain her when she starts her mission. So the dreamer puts a lot of pressure on herself. So the next message was very interesting. She will tell them when she is ready. So it's like she's connected to this other group. She can now talk to them. She knows where she's from, and she's able to talk to her higher self and other members of that group. There's a particular member of the group that is, let's say, her contact person while she's here. And they told her that she is going to get to the point of her telling them, hey, I'm ready to start my mission. So that's very encouraging to get, because she's in this phase of like, am I going to learn what I need to learn from them? And they're saying it's not even that. You've got it within you. So when this aspect of you wakes up, you're going to tell us you're good. So she's going to hit a part where she says to herself, I've got this. I'm ready to go. The other thing is she's going to be able to maintain her energy despite what is going on around her. She's going to be very strong and independent agent. She will own her own principles. It's like I said about the test earlier on, where she put herself through her own test. So she can still be herself under the stress. There is a very happy person in the sect that isn't her higher self, like I said. She's the one that is her contact person. And she's extremely happy with it, how everything is going for her.
Wow, that's phenomenal. That's really cool to know. Are you ready for us to move on to the next dream?
I am.
Well, the next dream is interesting by the title. It's called Head of Security. Like that title. Once again from Tracy. I was coming into a home of my ex-in-law's house, and I had to do something for them while they were gone. I unlocked the front door and walked in. The house was dark, and the drapes were closed. I tried to turn off the alarm with the code, but it didn't seem like I was getting it right. Then they heard a man in the other room say, "Hey, lady of the house, are you here?" And I said, "Yeah." I turned around and a blonde man in a jumpsuit was there. He was the head of security. And I said, "Oh my gosh, you guys get here so early." And then he said, "Yeah, we have a lot of work to do." And then I said, "I don't think I'm doing the code right. The alarm is not turning off." He reached over my shoulder and turned off the alarm and said, "That's okay. I got it for you." All right, Michael.
All right. So this kind of steps back to it's not about her spiritual mission. It's about I didn't feel welcome at the start of life because of the way she's gone into the ex is had to do something and an alarm goes off. Like that wouldn't be a good thing, right? So parents were alarmed when she arrived, and she still has work to do on healing this. I mean, the guide, the blonde man, and he has a title, so he has all the things that a guide has. Blonde hair is very typical of guides, represents purity of thought, a bit like the white antennas, the white light in the antennas in her previous dream. And then he's the head of security, so he has a title, so also makes him a guide. And he says, we have a lot of work to do. So this is him telling her, you're everybody in the dream. He's talking to you. She's the we. So we've a lot of work to do. She has healing to do on herself. And it's not necessarily hard work. Like I asked about that. Does she need to go into a therapeutic process like cutting the ties that bind? And they said no, that she can work through it as she goes along. And so that's quite good. But just to know that it's there. The other thing that's interesting is when she gets triggered. So the alarm is like, oh, I'm triggered. She can just ask her guides to help her settle. And this is connected to dad's influences and getting into a panic because of issues around dad. And we know it's dad because it's a man that comes along in the dream. So her guide is showing her that he's there for her. Like he reaches over her right shoulder. Right tells us it's the masculine side as well. You skip that word. So he reaches over and he presses the code in to turn off the alarm. So he's going to be able to calm her when she needs. So this is often important. We get into a state and we don't think we can just ask our guides, here, help me out here. I don't know what's going on. What do I need to do? Or just calm me, get me back to my center. But he is going to be able to be there. Once the work is all done, that's going to be fine. We do often have alarms in other dreams, and I say it's about an autoimmune response. This dream isn't that, because our alarms are good in a sense that if something is invading our body, we want an alarm to go off. We want our immune system to attack it. So typically that's what alarms represent in a dream, but not in her case. And then the last part is she feels unsupported. And she knows that, her past marriage and this one too, her dreams aren't even dressing it up. They're just saying, look, we know you're not supported. And, it might seem very blunt, but for somebody who's trying to get by and work on themselves and do various different things, it's often terrific to hit a point where you're just like, okay, I thought that was the case, and I'm glad you're just saying it the way it is, and now I can breathe.
Wow, very interesting. So I got a couple questions. So I'm not quite sure where I got that you picked up that she feels unsupported. I mean, it seems like the guy in the blonde jumpsuit is there and he's there quickly and he is the head of security and he turned off the alarm. So what's up with that? Where do you get that she is unsupported?
Because of the fact that he has to show up to support her. The whole idea that that happens in a dream means that's not happening in life. Your dreams don't show you, hey, look, you're supported. They will show you what you're lacking and then introduce the symbolism to fix it. And look at the start. She unlocks the front door, walks in, everything's dark, drapes are closed, and then the alarm goes off. So it's like, I don't know where I am. I can't see where I need to go. And I have this alarm to turn off. Like it's all a kind of a panic situation. And then the guide comes in and settles it. So this means that he has done that for her in the past. And she probably has just lost her memory of the fact that she had a good connection with her guides and they were able to help her out in the past. And this is a reminder that he's there, just calling him, he's going to be able to do it.
Wow. Actually, that's wonderful to hear. I was going to ask about the dark and the drapes being closed. So was she not welcomed?
Well, it's a good womb symbol. Like when we enter a house in a dream, it's about entering into our body, into mom's body, even. Then when we exit a building in a dream, that's birth. So here, this is all about her being in the womb. And typically, there's no windows. It's dark. There's nothing there. So in a dream, it's symbolized by a room with no windows or doors. And so here, it kind of has that feel because it's all just all this darkness. So she was communicating with her guides while in the womb.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. And they were trying to keep her calm and say, hey, you're going to do it. It's okay.
And this is typical of, especially if you come from a very high level, it doesn't have to be that. But I remember channeling on this before. There is a whole team and there's a very particular spirit that helps us when we hit the stress points in the womb, comes in and calms us down, talks to us. It's the same being, in fact, that puts us there in the first place, helps us get into the body. That is, like the body's already developing in the womb. We hit a point at a certain number of months in, and then the body's ready for the soul to be attached. And the spirit that gets involved in that process often does the rounds and makes sure everybody's okay and comes in and settles them. It's amazing what we do know while in the womb. Yeah, we've lost memory of who we were and all that sort of stuff, but we still know, hey, I'm a spirit. I still know a lot of things about ourselves. And by the time we learn to talk, we've forgotten all those things. So it's just funny how they plan it all out.
And one more thing. I thought it was interesting that he reached over her right shoulder. So they pointed out a right shoulder. So what's going on with that?
That's the masculine side. So issues with dad. And it's the same reason that it's a male that shows up to help her. So generally what will happen in dreams is the gender of the healing agent. So a healing agent is a guide that comes in and does something for you. They're not aloof. They don't just have their own thing that they do. They do something to help you. Those healing agents are generally the same gender as the parent you have the issues with.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I really enjoyed that dream. Very interesting. And it was short. Anyways, Michael, that's it. I don't know that we have any time for any more dreams, but I would love to talk about our summit and what's going on. You want to share?
Yep. dream-analysis.com/summit. That'll get you the link to describe the whole thing and be able to purchase a ticket to go to it. 3 days, April 24th to 26th.
And everybody, I just wanted to let you know that we did move it from the end of March to the end of April. There is content that we wanted to make better, and I know that you're going to enjoy it so much more. And hopefully, you guys can make the last weekend in April. It's going to be a phenomenal event.
All right, that's it. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.